process and how to mark our zones mechanically. Okay, so yesterday we did we started with the proximal and the distal line. So the line which is closer to your current market price is your proximal line, and the line which is farthest from the current market price is your distal line in both the cases, your demand and supply. Then we did advantages of using supply and demand zones. Then we went on to further classify, or we saw some terminologies, the basic elements of zones. For what are the basic elements of zones? What are the three elements of zone without which you cannot quantify a zone? Come on. What are the three elements of a zone? The leg-in? No, it's not. Come on. That is not the three elements of zone. Leg-in, base, and leg-out are the three elements of zone. Leg-in, base, and leg-out are the three elements of zone. So if any one of the elements is missing, you cannot quantify, or you cannot call that as a zone. Okay, so that's your three elements of a zone. So leg-in is prior action to a base. Base, as you know, it's a small candle. Body is less than equal to 50% of the range, and leg-outs are always leg candles, and that is after the base. And if the leg-out is green, that will be a demand zone. If the leg-out is red, then that will be a supply zone. Okay, then we saw the formations of demands and supply. So what are the two formation of demand? Rally based rally and drop based rally. So out of this, one is a continuation pattern and one is your reversal pattern. So which is your continuation pattern for demand zone? Very good. It's RBR. RBR is a continuation pattern. Okay. And which is a reversal pattern for your demand zone? Drop pace rally. Okay. Drop pace rally is your continuation pattern for, it's your reversal pattern for your demand zone. Okay. Now, once you come to the picture of supply, so supply zones, what are the two picture of supply that we have seen yesterday? Drop based drop and rally based drop. So out of this two picture, one is a continuation and one is a reversal pattern. So which is a reversal pattern in this? Rally based drop is your reversal pattern. Why is it a reversal pattern? Because the prices were coming up, then they base and they started to reverse. They started to go in the reverse direction. That's why it's called as a reversal pattern. Similarly, rally based rally is, sorry, a drop based drop is your continuation pattern. Why is it called a continuation pattern? Because the prices were coming down, they based for some time and they again started to fall in the same direction which they were falling. Okay, so it's a drop, pace drop is your continuation pattern for your supply zone. Okay, so then we did something called as freshness. Okay, freshness is price has left the zone, but the price has never ever came back to the zone. So that is your, that is a definition on of freshness. And where will you look freshness at? Not on the left hand side, it has to be seen on the right hand side. Freshness has to be seen on the right hand side, not on the left hand side. Right hand side of the zone. This was cleared yesterday, Ellen. Okay, then we did something called as tested zones. So tested zones are those zones where price has entered at least once. It has touched the proximal line, or it go into the zone, or it might touch this, the distal line. Okay. See, did you go, Alan? Did you go with my session yesterday? Did you see the recording? Be honest. How many of you have not seen the recording? Full recording have you seen? It's high time, guys, you start seeing the recording. No, it crossing the distal line is a violated zone. How can it be tested in the past? Your zone will always be formed. You have to see the freshness on the right side. See, guys, I clearly mentioned that you have to see the freshness on the right hand side. Okay, not on the left hand side. Left hand side, whatever happened, it's happened. It's already gone. Right hand side is where the prices will come and hit your zone, not on the left hand side. So that's what I'm doing right now, Sanjeev. Yeah, I think the notes have also been provided to you by Swapnil. Don't know what was that. Bajaj Fins. So I have to explain you the tested and fresh zone. So price has the price here come back to the zone on the right hand side. So you will receive your notes only on your registered email ID, and please check your spam for that notes. You please don't say to Swapnil that please mail me on this and that. You will get only the mail on the registered email ID. That's the only note, Bharat, that I can provide. That's the only notes. I have that full notes in that. Whatever I've covered, what I cover, it's already there in the notes. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so can you see here the price has not come here to the zone. Now this is your tested zone. The price has left the zone, but the price has never ever came back to the zone over here. But the price has left the zone, but the price has tested this zone once, and this is the price the price coming here in the zone for the second time. Distal cross distal is violated. Deepak, crossing the distal is violation. Okay, crossing the distal is violation. See, can you see that this the price has crossed the distal line over here, so this is violated. Okay, this is violated. So that's all. You have to use this, all this, whatever we have covered, Rajiv sir, we have to implement all that in our homework. Okay, so this is your violated zone because the distal line has been violated. This is your tested zone. The price has touched the proximal, it has come in the zone, but if you see, it has not violated the zone. It has not violated the distal line. So this is a tested zone, but not a violated zone. Similarly, this is a fresh zone. Can you see the price has left the zone, but the price has never ever came back to the zone. If it crossed distal line, it is a violated zone. Whether it closed below or not, if it's If it's just cross this line, the price goes beyond this. Even if the wick goes beyond this, it's a violated zone. Okay, now I hope violated, tested and freshness is clear. Okay, so let us now start with today's session. So now let's go here and start with zoning process. Okay, learn how to apply the three-step zoning process. Implications of tested zone. We are not going to take a trade on tested zone. Simple. We are going to take a trade only on fresh zone until you get a demand zone. You can go as far as you want to get a demand zone, unless and until you get the demand zone closer to your current market price. Okay, so today what will happen is, you have to go for that. It's not that in every chart you will find a zone to the left, very left. You have to go 90 candles or maybe more than 90 candles behind. Okay, it's not that. Okay, so now today what we are going to do is the zoning process. There is a three-step process on how to identify your zones and how to mark your zones on. Okay, and today we'll be becoming mechanical in marking the zones. So if Ashu is marking the zones from 100 to 95, Ellen will also mark the zones from 100 to 95. So let us see the simple three-step process to identify three zones. So steps to identify demand zones. See, my simple answer, Ashu, is over here is you have to go left unless and until you get a demand zone, or you have to go left on the upper side unless and until you get a supply zone. Whether it's 45 days behind, whether it's 90 days behind, or more than 90, you have to go and get it. Simple. If you don't get it, then we will see. Okay. So steps to identify demand zones. So what is the first step? You have to start with the current market price on the chart. Now please pay attention over here. What are the steps to identify demand zones? So start with the current price on the chart. Okay, start with the current price on the chart. Without cutting through candles, look down and left until you find the origin of a very strong explosive rally in price. So without cutting through candles, now without cutting through candles, I'll show you, but just understand in short what is without cutting through candles. Without cutting through candles means you have to select a fresh zone. You don't have to select a test or a violated zone. Cutting through candles means violating the distant line. But as I told you, if you want to be precise, you want to have a fresh zone. So without cutting through candles, you can take that I have to select a fresh zone. So you have to start with the current market price in the chart. Without cutting through candles, look down and left until you find the origin of a very strong explosive rally in price. Now, using the blade technique, draw proximal and distal lines from the origin of the rally and extend them forward. Now, you just need to know what is the basic technique to draw proximal and distal lines. So, first, what we will do is we will cover the basic leg technique for proximal and distal line, and then we will implement this on the charts. Okay, the three steps on the chart. Now let us see how to draw your proximal line in case of a demand zone. Now pay attention. How to draw your proximal line in case of a demand zone. Okay. What do you want me to repeat? See, Again, I'm telling you, please don't tell me to go back for your screenshot. I will not go back for your screenshots. If you want to have screenshots, please, when you are attending the recording, please go with that. See, which is explosive. Can you see? Explosive rally. Explosive rally. Very strong explosive rally. So is this a rally very explosive or is this rally explosive? Now again, this is a tested zone. Can you see the price coming into this zone? Rosario. So you have to start with the current market price on the chart without cutting through candles. Okay, you have to go wick by wick, wick by wick, wick by wick, wick by wick, wick by wick. Okay. So then I have to go down where I find a strong rally in the price. Then using the step 3 will always be done with the demand zone tool only, with the demand and the supply zone tool only. But for that you need to know what is the base leg technique to draw proximal and distal line. Okay, so proximal line placement, demand zone. How to place your proximal line? So there are 3 ways of placing a proximal line in case of a demand zone. There are 3 ways to plot your proximal line in case of a demand zone. So let us see the first way. So the first way of placing the proximal line in case of a demand zone is at the very highest wick in the base. So whichever wick is the highest in the base. Now here the base is made of 1 candle. There may be base made of 2 to 3 candles. So whichever wick is the highest in that base, you can draw your proximal line on that. And we even call this as a wick to wick drawing of proximal line, because we are drawing the proximal line at the very highest wick in the base. So this is your first way of drawing your proximal line in case of a demand zone. Let us see the second way. So a second way of drawing the proximal line in a demand zone with the very highest body in the base. So whichever body is the highest in the base, there you can draw your proximal line. So this is the second way. So first way is drawing proximal line at the very highest wick in the base, and the second is at the very highest body in the base, and third is proximal line at the very lowest body in the base. So whichever candle body in the base has the lowest body, there we have to draw our proximal line. Okay, but we are not going to use this third method. I have never used this third method in my life. We are going to use either the first and the second method. Now why this is called as a preferred method? Preferred method. Why this is called as a preferred method? First of all, tell me what will be the advantages of the first, second and third method. What did you not get? So first is drawing your proximal line at the very highest wick in the base. So whichever wick is the highest in the base, there you have to draw the proximal line. Which is the proximal line, Ashu? Let him answer. Closer to your current market price. So is this line closer to the current market price? So we are drawing at the very highest wick in the base. Second is proximal line at the highest body in the base. So whichever, can you see, this is the base and this has the highest body. So this is your proximal line in this scenario. Okay. Now the third is proximal line at the very lowest body. Which is the lowest body? This was the highest body. This is the lowest body. So this is where you draw the proximal line in case of your demand zone. But we are going to use this preferred method. Okay. So what is the advantage and disadvantage of the 3 methods? Can you tell me? Paying more in the first case? Yes. You have, the risk is more. Okay. The risk is more in the first case. That's the disadvantage. But the advantage is that you might get all your trades fill, maximum trades fill in the first case, because the price might come at this wick and then may turn. It might not come to this body, the highest body. Okay. So now, no. Price range would differ. That's the reason. Price range, yes, to some extent, but why? The advantage here is that you will be getting filled in all. Yes, probability of hitting trade is very good, Chaitanya. Probability of hitting the trade is on the higher side, but here the risk is more. Okay, the risk is more over here. Here it may be 5 rupees, here it will be 7 rupees, because you are drawing your proximal line at the very highest wick. Okay. Similarly, here you are drawing your body at the highest base in the candle, in the base. Okay. So here what happens is the risk is less than the first one, but the probability of getting trades reduces. Okay, reduces, because we are marking the zone wick to body. The prices might hit this wick and then go up. Okay, then go up. So that's why the advantage is that the risk is less than the first one, but the disadvantage here is that you may miss some of the trades. Okay. Similarly, in the third case, the risk is the least, but you might be missing on many of the trades. Many of the trades. So that's why we don't use this. Okay, we will be either using this or this. Now this is the preferred method. Okay, this is the preferred method. This is the preferred method. This is the preferred method. Why is this a preferred method? Because while you come to, or while you start your trading, we don't want you to be more of aggressive nature, neither more of conservative nature. Okay. So here everything is moderate. So that's why we want to follow this preferred method. But sometimes we may also, I may also use this method. Missing a trade, that means you put your entry, the price did not come at your entry. Let's suppose that this price is 100 and this is 105. You put your entry at 100, prices did not come here at 100. It came here at 105 and then the prices started to move up. Okay, so this is the three ways that you can mark your proximal line. Okay, I've already told you the advantages and the disadvantages of the three methods. Okay, so this is your proximal line placement for your demand zone. Now let us see. In second case, can we dot distal line at close line? Did I say, Drupad, anything about distal line? No, hold on. I'm going to tell you. Okay, hold on. I'm going to teach you how to draw a distal line. First, concentrate on your proximal line. So is proximal line okay for you? Have you got the way how to draw proximal line, the three ways? Everybody? And we will do it practically. Don't worry. We will do this practically. Okay. So let us now see how to draw distal line. Now distal line has a little bit of difference while drawing in case of a continuation pattern and a reversal pattern. So this is for your reversal pattern. So proximal line is drawn at the very highest candle body in the base. So there are three base candle over here. Okay, there are three base candle over here. Annapurna, question is good, but see, don't have this confusion. Okay, Annapurna has the question, people might be having this question, everybody. Okay, so just pay attention to this and what the answer I am giving right now. Leg out is your part of your zone. So this leg out can go deep inside the zone. But after the leg out, the candle after the leg out should not test your proximal line. Otherwise, that will be a tested zone. Here it's okay. This is not a tested zone because leg out is a part of your zone. Okay, otherwise you will not get it. You will not get a zone only. Okay, leg out is a part of a zone. So it is just testing it's just coming in the proximal line. But after the leg out, the candle that comes after the leg out, the subsequent candle after the leg out should not touch the proximal line. Otherwise, that will be a tested zone. Okay, is this clear? Is this clear, guys? Leg out is a part of your zone. Okay, so it can come inside this zone. Otherwise, you will say that this leg out is testing the zone. No. After the leg out, the candle comes which after the leg out, if this tests the zone or after this candle, this tests the zone, then it's a tested zone. Otherwise, it's not a tested zone. Okay. Now, can you see there are three bases over here? 1, 2, 3. Three base over here. 1, 2, 3. Everybody can see this. There are three bases here in this drop base rally, right? Now see where is the proximal line coming. So if somebody has a confusion, okay, now this is drawn by the second method. Okay, out of these three basing candles, which is highest body in these three basing candles? The green one, right? Can you see this? It's the green one which is having the highest body. The middle one, the green one, the second base, right? So that's why the proximal line has been drawn at this juncture or at this very highest body. So this is by the second method. As I told you, that is the preferred method. So that example is shown by drawing the proximal line by the second method. Okay, now read it. The second point. Distal line is drawn at the very lowest price of the entire drop base rally. So whichever is the price or whichever candle is the lowest price out of the leg in, the base or the leg out, that is where we will draw our distal line. So can you see this candle only has the lowest price over here? Right? So that's why the distal line has also been drawn at the same candle itself. Now, if the leg out candle had the lowest wick, then the distal line would have come at the leg out candle. Okay, if this had a wick which has gone deeper than this wick. Okay, so then the distal line would have been drawn on the leg out. If the leg in has the lowest wick, or where the price has gone to the lower side, then we will draw the distal line on the leg in. Okay, so distal line is drawn at the very lowest price of the entire drop base rally. So that's what I'm telling you, Tejas. If this base candle had a lower price, then the distal line would have been drawn on this candle. If this candle would have been lower than this, then the distal line would have come on this candle. Okay, so whichever candle among the leg in, the base and the leg out has the lowest wick, your distal line will be drawn at that candle. Yeah, distal line case of a reversal pattern should be drawn at the lowest wick of the entire drop base rally. Okay, whichever candle has the lowest wick. Yes, of the entire drop base rally, Madhuri. Okay, is there anybody who has not understood this, the distal line, proximal line? So I think it's clear. Is there anybody who has not understood the distal line concept, how to draw? In case of your reversal pattern, if it's clear, then I'll move on to the continuation pattern. Okay, let's go. Now, there is a slight difference. There is a slight difference when you draw distal line in case of a continuation pattern. Okay, in case of a continuation pattern. Okay, proximal line will be the same at the very highest body in the base. You repeat what happens if the wick of the leg out is higher. Where is wick doesn't wick of the leg out is higher. If it's higher, then what's the problem? If it's lower than this wick, then the base, if it's lower than the base, then your distal line will come at this leg out. So the distal line will come at the leg out. Okay, now this is your rally base rally. So the proximal line is one of the very highest candle body. So among these three bases, which has the highest candle, which is the highest candle body? In the base, the green one, right? The second base candle. So that's why the proximal line is drawn at the very highest candle body in the base. Now when it comes to distal line, in case of a continuation pattern, that is your rally, pace rally, there is a small difference, there is a small thing to ignore over here. So the distal line is drawn at the very lowest price of the base or rally. Okay, the move out. So here, if the leggings wick is lower than the base or the leg out, you have to ignore the leggings wick. In case of a continuation pattern, you have to ignore the leggings wick and you have to draw the distal line on the lowest price of either the base or the leg out. Okay, so it doesn't matter where the legging ends. So legging, we will ignore the legging and we will draw our distal line on the lowest point of either the base or the leg out. The base or the rally. This is also called, the base and the rally is also called as the move out. The high of rally legging will not be considered as the higher body for proximal line. No. Proximal line, always remember, proximal line will always be concerned with your bases. Okay, proximal line will always be concerned with your bases, not the leg in and the leg out. Yeah, leg in is not considered, right? You're right. Okay, clear? Is this clear? How to draw a distal line in case of a continuation pattern? You have to ignore the leggings wick in case of a continuation pattern. Okay, in case of a continuation pattern, you have to ignore the leggings wick. Okay, so let's do this practically. Let's do this practically. Let's go here. Let's close this. So right now, what we are doing is we are just drawing proximal and distal lines. Okay, we are not checking any freshness for the time being. We are just practicing how to draw proximal and distal line on. Okay, so this is your drop pace rally. Okay, drop pace rally. The price has gone up with a gap. So this is your continuation pattern of your reversal. It's a reversal pattern. So in the reversal pattern, do you ignore the leg in while you draw your distal line, or do you consider the leg in? We consider the leg in, right? We consider the leg in while we draw. So here, can you tell me where will be the proximal line coming? So this is your leg in, this is your leg out. Okay, this is your leg in, this is your leg out. So this is your first C. This is your first basing candle, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth basing candle. Yeah, it will come on the sixth base because this is the highest candle body in the base. Okay, because this is the highest. Can you see this is the highest candle body in the base? So that's why your proximal line will come over here. Okay. And where will be the distal line coming? On the very first base, because this is the lowest wick. So this is where your distal line will come. So now what I'll do, I'll just take this supply zone tool over here from here and just keep my mouse over here and drag my mouse. Sorry, I've drawn a supply zone. I'll just keep my demand zone tool over here. Yeah, this is a demand zone only. And drag my mouse over here. So that's your demand zone. Okay, that's your demand zone. Okay, now let's suppose that my Leggins wick was something like this. So where would have my distal line come? Here in this case. On the Leggins wick, because this is the lowest wick in the entire formation. Okay, this is the lowest wick in the entire formation. So then your distal line shifts over here because this is the lowest wick in the entire formation. Similarly, if my Leggins wick was like this, something like this, then my distal line would have come over here. Okay, clear? Is this clear? In your reversal pattern, we do consider the leg in, the base and the leg out for drawing our distal line. Only in the case of continuation pattern, we ignore it. Okay. So let me see another example. Okay, let's go here and the same thing. So here we have a rally, base and a rally. Highest body is the proximal point. Highest body is a distal line would be the lowest wick point and both. But in continuation pattern, neglect the leg candles, the leg in candles, not the leg candles, the leg in candle. If the leg out wick is lower than the base wick, then you have to consider the leg out wick to draw your proximal, the distal line. Yeah, in reversal pattern, you should consider lowest wick. How does the magnet work in this situation? So magnet, you have to click on magnet and you have to draw your zones accordingly. Once if the price, if it has the lowest wick, you draw on that. It will automatically adjust itself wherever you take your magnet. Yes, we will consider only fresh demand zone and supply zone. Okay, I'm right now using TT only. This is TT. So this is your rally, base, rally. Okay, rally, base, rally. Now this is a continuation pattern or a reversal pattern? It's a continuation pattern. So in a continuation pattern, do you ignore the Leggins wick or you consider the Leggins wick? We'll ignore the Leggins wick, right? And you have to draw your distal line on the lowest of either the base or the leg out. Okay. So first tell me where will you draw your proximal line on? Where will you draw the proximal line on? Very good. It has to be on the first base because this is the highest candle body in the base. So this is your proximal line. And where will be the distal line coming? Here. where will the distal line coming? Yes, we have to ignore the leg in. We have to draw the distal line on the lowest wick of either the base or the leg out. So in this leg out or base, which is the lowest point where the price has gone to, can you see the second base candle over here? This is the lowest point where the price has gone to. So here, this will be like this. I will take this demand zone tool over here. I'll come here, drag my mouse and just leave it over here. So this is my demand zone. So is everybody clear how to draw your proximal and distal line in case of your drop base rally and rally base rally? My pleasure, Chakrapani. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you, Anurag. Thank you, Prasad. Why are we not taking it? Oh, I didn't get your point. Just hold on. This is leg in. This is your leg in. This is your leg in. This is your leg in. That is more simple. Okay, Kumesh. Drop base rally, okay. That's the rule. Now, if there will be a zone something like this, hold on. I will show you some zone. See this zone. This rally, base rally. Okay, this rally, base rally. Now, if you draw your zone, it would have come like this. Okay, but if you consider the leg in, then your zone will be too much big over here. So that might be the reason. That reason has not been provided by OTA because that's a rule based that what we use. Okay, but there might be something like this. The risk might increase. If leg out wick goes, okay, leg out wick, let me see, 409. So if leg out wick goes like this, let's suppose this is the scenario, then your demand zone, the distal line will come over here. Okay, and your proximal line will come over here. Right now, Pradeep, I've given you the point, so hold on. I will not talk about the stop loss right now because it might confuse. Hold on, Abhishek, to your question. If price does not come again in the demand zone, no problem. There might be a new demand zone created on the above side, on the upper side. Could there be case where recent fresh supply zone is below fresh? No, but how can you have a supply zone below demand zone? Or how can you have a demand zone above the supply zone? You cannot have it. Yes, in rally based rally, you have to ignore the leg in. In rally based rally, you have to ignore the leg in. And in drop based rally, you have to consider the leg in's wick. Whichever is the lowest, whether it's again the base or the leg out. So somebody had not understood in case of reversal pattern. So let me just see that reversal pattern again, drop base rally. Let me see. Okay, so this is one of the, I'm just showing you this in this case of drop base rally. Because that's where the pending orders might be, probability. I have shown you yesterday only this freshness. The freshness question should not come now. Okay, because freshness, why do we look at freshness? Because we want a zone where there is highest probability of getting into trade and the trade turning into our favor. Pranay Singh, hold on. Gaps I have not yet covered. Gaps when I covered, then I will tell you how to mark your zones in case of a gap. Okay? Please guys, stick to this, to the proximal and distal line discussion. Gap, time frames, please don't get into that. When I cover time frames, you'll come to know. When I cover gaps, you'll come to know. Don't worry about that right now. You worry about how to draw your proximal and the distal line. Okay? Now, here, drop base rally. Okay, let's suppose this is a drop base rally. No, I will take a candle. I will take a drop base rally with 3-4 candles. Okay, let's take a drop base rally with a 3-4 candles. So now this is your drop base rally. Okay, that's your drop. Let me just look for a good zone. Go to 75-minute chart. So this is my drop base rally. So this is first of all a reversal pattern. It's not a continuation pattern. So you cannot ignore the leg in. Okay, you cannot ignore the leg in. Now there are two bases over here. Okay, so whenever you have two bases, the proximal line, remember the proximal line is always concerned with your bases. So the proximal line will come at the highest body in the base. Highest body in the base. So which is the highest body in this base? The second base. So it will come over here. Okay, and the distal line will now come at the lowest of the entire drop base rally, the lowest point which the price has made in the entire drop base rally. So which is the lowest point where the price has made? So it's into this leg in candle. So this is where my distal line will be. So that's your drop base rally. Okay, drop base rally. So I don't know who asked me this question is confused about the reversal pattern. So is this clear now? Okay, so somebody asked that somebody is confused. First green, where is the first? This is lower than this. Moge, this is lower than this. This first candle body. We see the candle body, not the wick, which is the candle body which is highest. This is the candle body, not the wick. You have to see the candle body. Now got it? Okay. So let us do with all the three methods. Okay. The three methods of marking the proximal line. Okay. In this scenario itself. Okay. In this scenario itself. So I will tell you now, I will tell you how to, I'm just telling you how to mark your zone or the proximal line with the first method or for the first type. So with the first type, where will it come? Where will the proximal line come? Can you tell me? Proximal line is always concerned with your base. First base wick top, na? Because this is the highest base. So the proximal line will be over here. And the distal line doesn't have any problem. Okay, it will be over here. So this is with your first way. Okay, I'll write here first way, and I'll change this to, let's suppose, let's use blue color over here. Apply, save. Okay, so this is your first method. Your second method says that your proximal line will be at the highest candle body in the base. So this is your highest candle body in the base. So here, with the help of the second wave, you can draw your proximal line over here. So let's do this. Let's change this dash dot dot, and let's give this as a second wave. Save. Just have a different, let's use this as green color. Apply, save. So this is your second color. I just increase the thickness over here. Okay, this is your second way. And your third way is at the very lowest body in the base. So which is the lowest body in the base? The first base bottom. Yes, very good. So your third way is drawing like this. Okay, the third way is drawing like this. Understood? Is this understood? So I'll just use another color for this. Let's say a purple color. Apply. I'll use another line over here. Dot line. Third way. Okay, so that's your third way of drawing your proximal line. Okay, so now I hope everything is clear. No, highest is in the first method. The prices might hit this and go up. Okay, if you want to take a screenshot of this, take the screenshot of this. Okay, now if you want to see how the risk is more, I'll show you. Let's place an entry line over here at the first method at 419.15. I'll put a stop loss below this distal line. I'm just putting a random stop loss. Okay, and I'm putting this as my target randomly. Okay, now can you see the risk here is written 19.90. Can everybody see this? 19.90. So this is the risk involved. This is the risk involved if we draw the proximal line through the first method. Okay, 19.90. Now if I shift it, the entry line, let me shift this entry line to, okay, the second method over here. Can you see? Now from 19.90 it has become 16 rupees 10 paise now. It was 19 rupees 90 paise when I draw with the help of the first method. Okay, the first way. Now it has reduced to 16 rupees 10 paise. So in this way, your risk get reduced while you draw your proximal line and distal your proximal line. Okay. Now if I draw the proximal line by the third method, if I put my proximal line somewhere over here at this entry, can you see it is reduced to 8.5 from 19.90 to 16 rupees 10 paise and now 8 rupees 5 paise. So this is how your risk get reduced once you start placing your proximal line differently. Is this clear? The more the width of the more the risk. The more the width of the zone, the bigger the zone, the bigger the risk. The smaller the zone, the smaller the risk. Okay, so let's do one thing over here. Let's take a break of 10 minutes, and when I come back, I will start with your marking distal line of supply zones and proximal lines of supply zone. Okay, now if you've understood this very clearly, that supply zone marking will be very easier. Okay, it will be a cakewalk. because it's just the opposite thing. It's just the opposite thing. Here you have to draw the proximal line on the highest body, there you have to draw on the lowest body. Here you have to draw the distal line of the lowest wick, there you have to draw on the highest wick. That depends, yeah, Sanjay. Okay, but as per OTA, it has been recommended. The second method as recommended, because in the beginning we don't want you to be more of a conservative nature, and also we don't want you to be more of an aggressive nature. What problem, Rishikesh? Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Thank you for this acts as a fuel, right? If you say nice, if you say good, this is good for the instructor. His confidence increases, and he feels that yes, the students now are understanding. I'm waiting for you, Rishikesh. So what can I do for that? You have to replace your system. That's it. Increase the RAM. Get the help of the IT team. Okay, if it's related to this, please ask me question related to, in Tamil we say SEMA. Okay, so I'm going to teach you demand and supply. Chakrapani is going to teach me Tamil. Thank you, guys. Okay, so Rishikesh, you can increase your RAM size. You can just can you see this is the entry now in the third type. So the width is less. The risk is, can you see here the risk is written 8.5. Now if I put my entry over here with the second type, forget this now. So has the risk increased to 13.5? Has it increased to 16 rupees 10 paise now? If I draw my proximal line with the help of the second method, and with the third method, if I draw this demand zone like this, wick to wick, then I put my entry over here at the proximal line. So the risk become more here, around 19 rupees. Okay, so this is how the risk increases. The risk is denoted over here. The risk is denoted over here. And it is nothing but the difference from, if you subtract 399.25 from 418.30, you will get this number, 18.95. Okay. Yeah, proximal and distal line. Proximal line and the distal line, or you can say the stop loss line. Sai Krishna, the stop loss line, which I have just put it over here. Okay, so let's take a break now for 10 minutes. I'll see you all in 10 minutes. At about 12:11. 12:11, 12:12. Okay, 12:12 we'll see that. See you all at 12:12. Look up and left until you find the origin of a very strong explosive drop in price. Go for proximal and distal line in case of a supply zone. So it's simple. It's just the reverse. The first step is start with the current price on the chart. Whatever is the current price, without cutting through candles, look up and left until you find the origin of a very strong explosive drop in price, and using the base leg technique, draw proximal and distal lines from the origin of the drop and extend them forward. Okay, so for different zones you have to look left and down. For supply zones you have to look left and up. Now coming on to the proximal line placement in case of a supply zone. So again, there are three ways of placing your proximal line in case of a supply zone. So first one is wick to wick, or the proximal line at the very lowest wick in the base. So whichever is the lowest wick in the base, there you can draw your proximal line, or at the very lowest body in the base. Which is the lowest body in the base? This one. Okay, so that's your proximal line at the very lowest body in the base. Now, proximal line at the very highest body in the base. So if you see over here, it's completely reverse of what we had, in marking the demand zone. So it's just the reverse. Okay, so three ways again. Proximal line is drawn at the very lowest wick in the base. So whichever is the lowest wick in the base, there you draw the proximal line. The second method is through marking your proximal line at the lowest body in the base, and third is your marking your proximal line at the highest body in the base. So now again, this is greater risk because this is marked from wick to wick. Okay, so the risk automatically becomes higher, but the advantage is that you might get fill in many of the streets. Here the risk is lesser than the first one, but you might miss the trades. Okay, it might hit this wick over here and then turn downwards. And the third, it's the lowest risk, but you might miss many of the trades. So that's why we will not use this. Okay, I think this should be clear. Don't worry, we will have a look at in the coming when I draw the demand zones and supply zones. You'll come to know that. And we are not taking the leg into consideration. Where did we take the leg into consideration when drawing our proximal line in case of demand zone also? Proximal line is always concerned with your basis. Okay, proximal line is always concerned with your basis. Now this is the picture for drawing your proximal line. Distal line I'm coming to it. Okay, so distal line, let's go here. Now this is your rally based drop. So rally based drop is a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern. It's a reversal pattern. So in the reversal pattern of demand zone, we did not ignore the leg in. So here also we will not ignore the leg in case of a reversal pattern. Okay, so the distal line is drawn at the very highest price of the entire rally based drop. So distal line is drawn at the very highest price of the entire rally based drop. So whichever price is the highest over here, whether it's the wick of the leg in is the highest, whether if it's of the base the highest, or the leg out the highest. Okay, leg out the highest. So distal line is drawn at the very highest price of the entire rally based drop, and proximal line is drawn at the very lowest candle body in the base. Leg out is considered whether it's a continuation pattern or a reversal pattern. Okay, it has to be considered. Chakrapani. So proximal line is drawn at the very lowest candle body in the base. So here there were three bases, 1, 2, 3. So now if you see the base of this, the body of this base candle is the lowest. That's why the proximal line is drawn at this base. Always remember that your proximal line will always be concerned with your basis. Okay, now the distal line is drawn at the very highest price of the entire rally based drop, of the entire formation. So here this is the highest wick, that's why we have drawn the distal line over here. Okay, understood? Proximal and distal line in case of your reversal pattern. One, two, three, four. What about the others? See, it's just the reverse, centil. So here the proximal line will be at the very lowest body in the base. So which is the lowest body in this base? Is the first candle. Now let him answer. Now let only Senthil answer. Nobody will else answer. Okay, which is the lowest body in the base? First, second or third? Let him answer. First. So that's why the proximal line is coming at the first base. And what does this say? Distal line is drawn at the very highest price the entire rally base. So which is the highest price in this entire rally base drop? The third one. So that's why the distal line has come as the third one. Now if the leggings would have been higher than this base wick, then the distal line would have come at the leggings wick. If the leg outs wick was more than or higher than the base wick, then it would have come over the leg out wick. Clear now, Senthil? Okay. Now let us see in case of a drop base drop, how to draw your proximal line and distal line. So drop base drop is first of all is a continuation pattern. Okay. So in continuation pattern of demand zone, we had ignored the leg in. So similarly, we have to ignore the leg in while drawing our distal line in case of this drop base drop, that is your continuation pattern. So distal line is drawn at the very highest price of the base or drop. Base or drop is also called as the move out. So base or drop. So whichever candle among the base or the leg out has the highest wick, we will draw the distal line on that wick, ignoring the leggings wick. If the leggings wick is more higher, then we'll ignore the leggings wick and we will draw the distal line on the very highest of the bases or the leg out. Similarly, my proximal line, as the proximal line is always concerned with my bases, my proximal line will be at the lowest body in the lowest candle body in the base. So which is the lowest candle body in the base? The first one. That's why the proximal line is coming here at the first one. So has this been understood? Anybody having any difficulties, any doubts? Helen, have you understood the drawing of proximal and distal line in case of the continuation pattern in the rally base rally or the demand zones? So this is just the reverse. What happens is what happens here is that as this is a reverse, again this is drop base drop is your continuation pattern. Okay, drop base drop is your continuation pattern. Okay, now here in drop base drop, that's what I'm telling you, you have to ignore the leg in, because this is a continuation pattern. We have to ignore the leg in and draw my distal line on the highest price of the move out. Move out is nothing but the base or a drop. Okay, base or the drop. So this wick has the highest price. This is where the price has gone to the highest. That's why the distal line is placed over here and not here. We have to ignore the leg in since this is a continuation pattern. And on the proximal line, as I told you, is always concerned with your bases. So whichever is the lowest body in the base, that is where your proximal line will be. So among these three bases, there is only there are three bases over here. So in this three base, we have this as the lowest body over here. So that's why this will be your proximal line for your drop base drop. Yeah, if the leg out candle was more than this wick, then it will have come, or the distal line will have come over here. Okay, so if you know demand zone thoroughly, then it's just the opposite of your demand zone, nothing else. Now, what have you not understood, Koteswara? Have you understood what is your how to mark your proximal and distal line in case of what is your difficulty? You tell me, I'll just go with that. Because again, explaining, I should know what your difficulty is. Where is your difficulty, so that I can put stress on that point, so that you understand better. Leg in wick should not be considered. No? This is a continuation pattern. Rally base rally was a continuation, we ignore the leg in. So here also this is a drop base drop, so we will ignore the leg in. Because it's the same type that we have three types of drawing your proximal line. It's the same. So first you will draw the proximal line. If I want to draw the wick to wick, then the proximal line will come over here. If I want to draw it with the second method, that's the second method, preferred method, where the proximal line is now. And if you want to draw the proximal line at the very highest body, then it's between these two candles. Anything more than that, Koteswara? Thank you, Nitin. Anything more than that, if you have not understood? Okay. So let's go here and why is this lowest? Which body is the lowest, Manoj? Is this the lowest body or is this the lowest body? If you can see it, it is clearly seen that this is your lowest body in these three bases. Okay, this is the lowest body. This body is upper to this body. The current proximal line is a third. How is the third methodology, Madhuri? It's with the second methodology. This methodology. The third one will be like this, at the very highest body in the base. The example is with the preferred method. So let's go here and let me pull out a chart. So right now I'm not considering any freshness. So is this your rally, base and a drop? Rally, base and a drop. Rally, base and a drop. Everybody agrees with this. So this is your continuation pattern or your reversal pattern? Is it your continuation pattern or your reversal pattern? How can this be a continuation pattern? It's a reversal pattern. The prices are reversing from this. So we have three bases over here, one leg out. Okay, this is your leg out. These are three of your bases and this is your leg in. Okay, now where will be the proximal line coming?
This body.
The third base. So this is where my third base is. So this is where the lowest body in the bases. So this is the lowest body. Where will be my distal line coming in this case? The first base candle, right? The first base candle, because this is the highest wick. So here it is. And I will draw the supply zone, take this supply zone tool. I'll keep my mouse over here and drag my mouse and leave this. Okay, so this is your rally base drop in case of a rally base drop. Understood? Let's take in a case of a drop base drop. So this is your drop base drop. That's your drop base drop. Drop base drop. Now this is your continuation pattern, right? Yeah, it's a continuation pattern. So you have to ignore the leg-ins wick, or you have to ignore the leg-ins high. So where will be the proximal line coming? Over here, in this case, at the lowest body in the base. So which is the lowest body among the two bases? This is, right? So this is your proximal line, and that's your distal line, right? I'll take this tool and draw it. Understood? How to draw proximal and distal line? Can the previous be base with two candles with? I didn't understand your question. Can the previous be base with two candles then candles? I did not get your question. Previous example. What was this previous example? This one? Yeah, what do you want to know about this? Yeah, three bases. Why will it have two bases? Because this is your leg in. These are two bases. These are bases where body is less than equal to 50% of the range. That's why it's three bases. All three bases have candle body. The body is less than equal to 50% of the range. Yeah, it's a part of base. It's a small candle. Can you see this is the leg out? This is an explosive move. This is an explosive move. Out of these two candles, which do you think is your explosive candle? Is this your explosive? Is this explosive? Or does this look explosive? Okay, hold on to your question, Vinod. The fourth one, right? So that's why. This is a bigger candle. So these are your bases. And that's your legging. Okay. So now let's go and try to find a demand and a supply. Okay. With what we see. Hold on to your question, Shikesh. In case of a distal line, leg out candle wick is higher. We should consider that. In case of a distal line, leg out candle wick is higher. That is for your reversal pattern, not for a continuation pattern. Zoom maps, you just use your scroll button on your keyboard or on your mouse, or plus and minus key on your keyboard. Okay. Now let me just come here. Okay, I'll go to the same. Can you please tell me what was the homework? Apollo tires. Time frame? Time frame? 15 minutes. Okay. So I'll go to Apollo tires. Now please don't give your demand zone and supply zones. I will myself mark this. I'll hide today's candle over here. So this is today's candle. I'll hide it. And let's go over here. Contact your mentor, Prabhat. Okay, so this was the current market price somewhere. Okay, so let's go here. Start with the current market price. Look left down until we find origin of a strong rally in the price. So what is the first step in marking our zone? Start with the current market price. I'll just show you that again. Okay, so that it's refreshed. So for marking my demand zone, start with the current price on the chart. Guys, you have to mug up this, huh? You have to mug up this. Without cutting through candles, look down and left until you find the origin of a very strong explosive rally in the price. So this is your second method. So do I see a strong rally in the price? Do I see a strong rally in the price? Right, over here. But what is the problem with this zone? There are a lot many basing candles over here. Lot many basing candles over here. Do you see? There are a lot many basing candles over here. Right? So I told you, so the basing candle should be in between 1 to 6. So I'll just ignore this and come down. So I know now that I want a zone below this point. Okay, so what I'll do is I will try to draw a line over here, so that I know where I want demand zone. I want a demand zone below this line. Otherwise, what will happen is it will be cutting through candles. Okay, it will be cutting through candles. So I'll go over here, go down, 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 down over here. So now I want a demand zone below this. So I'll go to the left and see. So I want a demand zone below this. So can I say this is a strong rally over here? Can I say this is a strong rally over here? Is this a strong rally in the price? Is this a strong rally in the price? Everybody agrees to this? Okay, so what can I do over here is I can just draw a horizontal line to know that this is my start of the leg out over here. Okay, what I'm doing is right now I'm trying to isolate the base. Okay, so this is your base candle. This is your base candle. This is your base. This is your base. This is your base. And what about this candle? What about this candle? Leg in, right? So I'll mark a vertical line on the leg in. So the bases are now automatically isolated. So within this two vertical line, whatever candle has been left are your bases now. Okay, this is your drop, base, rally. Drop, base, rally. Okay, drop, base, rally. So this is your reversal pattern. Very good, Prasad. This is your reversal pattern. Okay, reversal pattern of your demand zone. So now, can you tell me where will be the proximal line coming here in this? Which is the highest body? Let's see, because we have a confusion over here. So here the closing price of this is 88.30. The closing price for this is 88.30. So this closing price is the same. What is the opening price of this? 88. So all three are the same. 88.30, 88.30, 88.30. So in any of the candle you mark this. Yeah. Okay, because everything has 88. This is the closing price of this candle is 88.30. The closing price of this candle is 88.30. It's right hand side. The closing price is 88.30 over here, and here, because this is a red candle, the opening price is up to the upside and the closing price to the downside. So here the opening price, if you see, is 88.30. Okay, so the proximal line can be drawn on any of this base body, because all the base body are at the same price. Okay, now where will be the distal line coming? Because this is a drop based rally. So will we ignore the leg in or will we consider the leg in? We will consider the leg in, right? Because this is a reversal pattern, not a continuation pattern. Sorry for this. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll draw over here, and now I will remove these two vertical lines over here, and now I will draw this as my demand zone. Okay, now what is the thing that I need to look for after drawing my zones? Freshness. Very good. And freshness has to be seen on the right hand side. So I go to the right and see, I go to the right, see, I go to the right and see, I go to the right and see, I go to the right and see, I go to the right. Has the price tested this zone on the right hand side? No, right? The price has never ever came back to the zone. So this is your zone. This is your fresh zone on your Apollo tires. Okay, on the 15 minutes. Yeah, what's your question? Yes. Now there is another demand zone created over here. Okay, today. So that demand zone will keep on changing once the price starts to move up. The first big rally that we ignored. Yes, because there are a lot many basing candles over here. Okay, lot many basing candles over here. Okay, let's go and so would it be correct to say the nearest fresh zone? Yes. You see here. Start with the current price in the chart without cutting through candles. Look left down. So here it is not mentioned, but it has to be the current. Start with the current. Why it is showing start with the current market price? Because it should be fresh to the recent memory of the traders. Okay. New demand, then we should follow new one. Yes, you have to follow the same step, Jyotsna. Could the third two left green be considered? No. I got 24th March. No, this is the candle. Now, whatever you have got, it's okay, but this is your demand zone. Okay, on Apollo tires. This is your demand zone on Apollo tires. So I have given you yesterday homework, na, Jyotsna. If I mark today's homework, if I mark this zone as demand zone, then it will be wrong because I gave you homework yesterday, not today. Okay, so let's do it now over here. Over here. So let's, this was the closing of yesterday's price. Okay, the price closed somewhere over here. Okay, so now I know for the matter of fact that I want a supply zone which is above this point. Okay, above this point. If I draw my supply zone, if I draw my supply zone below this point, okay, if I draw my supply zone below this point, and it will be cutting through candles. Okay, this could also be a supply zone, but this is cutting through candles. The candles are already passed with this. Okay, so you cannot mark this as a supply zone. This is a violated zone. Okay, so you have to find the very fresh demand zone which is to the which is closer to the price. So if you do you see any demand zone closer to price other than this, where there is an exclusive move to the upside also? Madhuri. Okay, so now can you see over here? I have a sharp move over here to the downside over here. So let's mark this as my vertical line over here. Okay, so this is my base, this is my base, and this is my leg-in. So I'll mark a vertical line over here. So is this a reversal pattern or a continuation pattern? It's a continuation pattern. So it's in a continuation pattern. We should ignore the leg-in, or we should consider the leg-in. You should ignore the leg-in. So you tell me now, where will be the proximal line be coming and where will be the distal line coming? Proximal line at the second base, at the very lowest body in the second base. Okay, so here comes the proximal. And where will be the distal line be coming? Distal at the first base, because this is the highest price among the move out. Okay, so this is where my distal line will be coming. So I'll just remove this to draw this supply zone. Now this supply zone has been violated today, not as per yesterday. As per yesterday, it was a fresh zone. Today it has come, the price has come and just gone up. Okay. So today it has been violated. But as per yesterday, this was a fresh zone. As per yesterday, this was a fresh zone. So this was the supply that we intended. So if you mark this, this is the same supply. See, always remember that why am I telling you that you have to consider your you have to mark your zones after the market close, because there may be price movement and you will get to know where the price close only after the close of the market. Okay. See, don't consider 520 paise here or there. Now you know how to draw. Before you did not know how to draw the proximal and distal line. So it's okay. Okay. You just, if you know that, yeah, this is the area of supply, that's okay. Nitin, still lot of time to take your trade. But why should we add entry stop loss? We are not doing entry stop loss line here. We are not. We have not gone with entry stop loss. Okay, so as per today, then you have to go here and mark your supply zones with the current market price. This is your current market price. You go up. So there's an explosive move to the downside over here. So this will be your rally base and your drop. Okay, as per today, if you ask me, as per the current market price. Okay, so let me just continue with this. So we have done this, done this, done this, done this. Now, this is what I've just told you. Okay, base isolation technique that was left. Yes, that's definitely a fresh zone. Has the price returned back to the zone? Has the price returned back to the zone? It should be an explosive move. Hold on for your Prasanna, for once we do odds and answer, that will be more clear. No, the price has not hit. It's a fresh zone. Okay, now coming on to the slides again. Base isolation technique. Now this I've already covered. So how to isolate the base and draw zones mechanically. So apply the 3-step zoning process using the base isolation technique. So what is that 3 steps? What are the 3 steps? What are the 3 steps? Come on. Yeah, start with the current market price. Without cutting through candles, look left and down until you find origin for strong rally price. Using the base leg technique, draw your proximal and distal line and extend them forward. So first you have to apply the 3-step zoning process. Okay, going right to left, draw vertical line precisely on the top of the leg candle. So once you find a strong rally, a strong leg candle, you draw it. You draw a vertical line over here, just what I have done in the homework. So the first candle leg out should be a leg candle. Okay, so step 1 focuses on the first leg candle at the very beginning of the move. Okay, at the very beginning of the move. Step 1 focuses explosively on the first leg candle at the very beginning of the move. Then what is the second step? Once you have drawn the vertical line of the leg out candle, so draw a second vertical line precisely on top of the leg candle that identifies the end of the leg in. Okay, so you can do this. Once you identify the leg in, you can draw a vertical line, just what I have drawn previously. So the last candle of a leg in should be a leg candle. Step 2 focuses exclusively on the last leg candle at the very end of the move. Okay. Now the third step is the base made of base candle has been isolated between the two vertical lines. So between the two vertical lines, that base has been isolated. Now place proximal and distal lines accurately and then erase the vertical line. So once you mark your proximal and distal line, you erase the vertical lines. Okay, now proximal line is drawn the very highest candle bond at the base, lowest for supply. Distal line is drawn at the very lowest wick of the entire drop base rally, highest for supply. Now this is in the starting that you have to draw your vertical line, horizontal lines. Okay, this is in starting. You have to draw vertical line on your leg in, first on a leg out, then leg in, then you draw that zones. Once we go after the 2-3 sessions, we will directly mark our demand zones and supply zones. We will not mark a vertical line on the leg out, we will not mark a vertical line on the leg in. We will directly mark the demand zones and the supply zone. This is just for your ease. Once you are new, for that you can draw vertical line and distal line, vertical line on both the leg out and the leg in to isolate the bases automatically. Once you get acquainted to this, you don't need to draw the vertical line and horizontal line. You just take your demand zone tool and draw it as it should be. Okay, if it's a drop based rally, you draw it accordingly. If it's a rally based rally, you draw it accordingly. Okay, so has this been understood? Has this been understood? So there is a question. There is a question by somebody which has gone up. So can you just repeat that question? So we have finished today's session. So just for your info that tomorrow is a Friday, 1st May. So we don't have a session tomorrow on Saturday and Sunday. We will directly meet on Monday, 4th of May 2019, and that will be a revision session. So is this a forecasting method for buy price and sell price? So that's what we do. That's what we are doing, Kumesh. Magnet in case of your trading view. Magnet was in case of trading view. We know that it gets. I was just looking at. I think it got uploaded around 2:44 3 p.m. After 2 hours, you'll see. You'll get it. More homework. Okay, so let me search for the homework part. Let me go here. Let me go. See you in 2020. So we are in 2020. Is it written 2019? Okay, it's 2020. Sorry. That's 20. I have to just change this. Sorry. You can do this. You can do definitely, Rishikesh. You just have to analyze your trade. No, there is nothing to draw a demand zone and supply zone through softwares.